How much profit will 100 layer chicken give you? That's what you're going to learn in this video. I am Carlos, guide at Secret Layers, a poultry education platform that teaches you how to start and run a layer poultry farm profitably. And let's get straight into the numbers. But before we begin, please subscribe and like this video so that it can be shared to more people and so that you don't miss out on any future videos from this channel. 3 assumptions that you're going to make on this video. I know they might not be accurate, but they're within the accuracy range. And 1, we're going to use a price of 400 Kenya shillings per tray of 30 eggs. 2, we're going to use a price of 60 Kenya shillings per kg of layers mash. And 3, we are going to assume an 80% production rate from your farm. Starting with the sales, how much money will you make from selling your eggs? So 100 birds laying at 80% production rate will give you 80 eggs per day. Multiply that by 30 and you get, right, 2,400 eggs per month. I see that you're very good at math. And converting that back to trays, we are going to get 80 trays per month. And remember, our assumption price per tray of eggs is 400 Kenya shillings. So 80 trays multiplied by 400 Kenya shillings gives us 32,000 Kenya shillings. That's the revenue that we are going to get per month from selling our eggs. And next, going to the costs. Number 1, the biggest cost on any layer poultry farm is feeds. In fact, it accounts for about 70% of the whole costs. So big tip here, if you want to make more profits, find a way to reduce and lower your costs. So what will be your monthly feed costs? Layer chicken, during the laying period, they eat around 130 grams per chicken per day. So with 100 chicken, that's 13,000 grams per day. And converting it back to kilograms, that's 13 kg. What that means is, every single day, you are going to be feeding your chicken 13 kilograms of layers mash. And we said we're going to assume a price of 60 shillings per kg of layers mash. So 13 kg multiplied by 60 Kenya shillings gives us, you're right again, 780 Kenya shillings. So every day you'll be putting out 780 Kenya shillings to buy the feeds, making that a monthly cost. So multiplying it by 30, we get 23,400 shillings as the monthly cost of eggs, sorry, of feeds on our farm. 23,400. The next single important cost is vaccines. Now I understand the vaccines during the laying period are few compared to the pre-laying period, so it's mainly deworming and some fall typhoid and fallpox vaccines, for which we are going to use an assumption figure of 1,000 Kenya shillings per month. So the costs are now 23,400 for feeds and 1,000 for vaccines, and that's 24,400. Now the final cost of the farm. If you thought that was the end, then sorry for disappointing you, but the final cost, remember, your farm won't be running in a vacuum or in space. There are things going on in your farm which have to be paid for, including transport to and from the customers and buying the feeds, and including the minor costs around the farm. So for that, the industry standard is to use 15% of the cost of feeds to cover for that miscellaneous costs. And 15% of 23,400 is another chance for you to shine. Correct! 3,510 Kenyan shillings. So our total costs will now be 24,400 plus the 3,510, giving us a total of 4,090 Kenya shillings. Now, if that is small or big, I leave it up for you to judge, and you can tell me in the comments below, but that's the final number. 4,090 Kenyan shillings. Now, one disclaimer that I have to tell you for this is something that most layer poultry farmers or most so beginners who are aspiring don't hear about, is that these profits are not your final profit. Remember, you either bought point of lay chicken or you bought day-old chicks and brooded them for 5 months before they started laying. So to get your true profit, you have to and you must subtract the cost of raising the birds from day-old to point of lay, or the cost of purchasing the birds during point of lay, and the amount that you get then and only then is your true profits for your farm. And that is the goal of any layer chicken farmer, to improve and increase that number. No other goal. Like I said, there are a few packs that you can use to even double that number, for which I'm going to make a whole video solely on that. So subscribe and make sure you don't miss it out by hitting the notification bell. Plus, you can find more tips at secretlayers.co.ke, a very informative and perfect blog for layer poultry farmers and aspiring as well. If you are new to layer poultry farming, make sure you check out and get this free beginner's layer poultry guide at secretlayers.co.ke. I'll put the link in the description. And if you're planning to start with 50 chicken and you don't know how much profit they give, I made a whole video on that. You can check it out and watch it, and it will give you the accurate numbers, the exact monthly profits you're going to get from 50 layer chicken. If you found any value in this, please subscribe, and see you in the next video.